Hi, this is Jane with Mommy Index. This is our first official Mommy Index podcast and interview. And Grammy is here by my side. He's very vocal. And we are here with Pam Maass, estate planner from Law Mother, and her sweet pea, Sophia. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Pam also, after interviewing a couple of estate planners, we ended up going with Pam as our estate planner. And it was clear that she was the right choice, not just because of the fact that I got to know her on a mom level, but just because of everything that she presented to us in her estate planning plan, especially her kids protection plan, which we'll bring up later. Anyway, Pam, I'm going to give the ball to you if you just kind of want to give us a quick snapshot of who you are and how you started Law Mother.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jane. And if people are watching this, you're definitely seeing some cute baby action right now. I have been practicing law for 11 years. And I got my start out as a deputy district attorney. So I was in court every day and I was out in the community and really loved it. And really saw this need where families did not have access to estate planning tools. And then kind of tragedy would happen, the unexpected would happen. And I would see those families, their loved ones being caught in court and conflict. I would see their children in child protective services. And I knew I wanted to do something to really support families and have them get access and plan proactively. And so I worked, from there, I worked in private practice at a larger firm. And then I launched my firm in 2019.
Wow. So you said you've been pretty much in this business for over a decade then.
Yeah.
So Law Mother, how did you come up with that specific brand?
Yeah. So previously, prior to having our babies and my baby, my law firm was Maass Law after my last name, and really decided to rebrand after the birth of Sophia to really take a stand for families and parents, and especially working mothers. And I have a podcast, the Working Moms podcast, that I had been running since the summer, and really just wanted to, really take a stand and provide resources specifically for parents.
That's amazing, because I think a lot of new parents are so overwhelmed with becoming a parent, going through pregnancy, going through birth, and there's so many resources at their fingertips that they may or may not know of. And I think this is one that just seems so daunting, or so maybe you have to be wealthy, or you have to be a certain age, or you have to be established in a certain way. And a lot of new parents really just don't think that estate planning is a must for their birth plan. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
So estate planning really is important for birth plans. And some of the reasons are, really the big thing is naming guardians for your children. And so, when you're kind of setting up your birth plan, you want to make sure that you have specific decisions legally put down. So naming legal guardians specifically, and also making sure kind of your healthcare choices and other things are in place. So that if anything ever happens to you, sometimes something will, someday something will, but that everything's protected.
Yeah, and I love that you're saying that, because something my husband and I didn't know about is that if something does happen to both of us, that our son would have to go through all of these legal loops, or, even automatically just kind of be sent to social services and not to the people who you'd want him to be with in the short or long term. We didn't know that that's something we had to legally write down and state in order to know that he would be in the safe hands of the people we trust.
Yeah, I think so. That's a common misconception and people don't realize, but yeah, if something were to, God forbid, happen to my husband and I today, the default plan is not a plan that most people would like. And that default plan is exactly what you just kind of described. That default plan is that your family would have to go to court. They'd have to ask a judge for permission to care for your child. And anyone related to you can ask the court to take care of your kids. And that judge, a stranger to you, is going to make the decision of who is going to take care of your children. And that judge might not choose someone that you would want. And so not only is it kind of that having to go to court and pay money and take time, but ultimately your choices aren't being honored. It's the judge's choices. Whereas if you put it in a plan, you know that exactly who you want is going to care for your kids, and you're not leaving your family with a mess that they have to clean up.
Yeah. And in your specific kids protection plan, is there anything specific that makes it maybe a little different from traditional estate or will planning when new parents are doing that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things in our kids protection plan that are different than traditional estate plans. So we include both short-term and long-term guardians. So short-term guardians are who would care for your kids in an emergency situation. If your long-term guardians live out of state or aren't able to get there right away, your short-term guardians make sure that your kids would never have to be in Child Protective Services or Department of Human Services. And then long-term guardians are who you'd want to care for your children if you could not in the long term. And then we also do emergency wallet ID cards. We all know that emergency responders would look in your wallet if something were to happen. And so we have those people have their information in your wallet. And then we have a full package in addition to that of other documents that's kind of part of a full emergency response plan to make sure that your kids are always taken care of by the people you want in the way that you want.
I just love that. And I love our wallet ID card too. I just love that we know like that's on us and that we don't have to have a second thought about it. And something else I really loved and appreciated about working with you, Pam, was that not only do you have an amazing personality and you're warm and friendly and upbeat, because, let's be honest, creating something like this for a lot of people is daunting and scary, and we kind of don't want to think about this stuff, but you make it really easy and really fun. And you also use language that everyone understands and that everybody can connect to. Because I've spoken with other estate planning attorneys, and they used their, attorney lingo, kind of expecting that my husband and I would just automatically understand everything he was talking about, which was not the case. And that kind of created a barrier and made me feel like we couldn't relate to him too. And that kind of unrelatability makes it in that a lot of parents think that this is not something that's within their ability or their capability to do. And so I just love that Law Mother makes it relatable to everyone and anyone, no matter your socioeconomic background, because this is something that every child needs.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you specifically say birth plan. So kind of tell me about why it's important to do it during your pregnancy versus after baby is here.
Yeah, so I think, really putting legal plans in place are, plans for life, right? You get that peace of mind knowing that it's taken care of. And so the nice thing about putting it as part of your birth plan is that you have everything set up, and when you go to the hospital, I don't know if it was for you, but when I went to the hospital, they asked me, do you have a healthcare directive? Do you have a medical power of attorney? And so that's something you can prepare in advance and have ready. And then having those guardianship documents in place just gives you that peace of mind knowing from day one that you have everything protected.
That's perfect. I love that. Well, awesome. Is there anything else that our viewers and potential clients should know about you or Law Mother?
Yeah, so there's some really great resources that you can get started now for free. So I have a free tool on my website where you can name legal guardians for free. And it can walk you through how to do those documents so you can get started. You can link to that from lawmother.com or freelegaltool.com to directly. And then if you want to learn more about what's the difference between a will and a trust, what legal documents do you need, I have a 30-minute webinar at lawmother.com /webinar. And it goes through all the details. It's very educational and kind of breaks things down so that whenever you're ready, what all the different terms are, and really can get educated so you know what the differences between everything are and can really protect your family from a place of empowerment.
Awesome. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Pam. It was so great having you, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Jane. It was great being here.
Thank you.